Fubuki never imagined that after all her efforts to recruit Saitama would end in total failure, yet the old man before her easily won him over with just a box of premium beef. It turns out that when Saitama returned home looking completely disheveled, everyone assumed he had finally found Garou. But Saitama had no idea that the person he just sent flying was the hero hunter. Instead, he was just wondering why all these people were still loitering in his house. However, it was true that he was facing a major crisis. The moment he said that, the atmosphere immediately grew tense. They all thought he had encountered some incredibly formidable foe, only for Saitama to announce with a straight face that he had lost his wallet, which had about 60 yen inside.
Nandemonaya, takikata, takito. Wow, soki desuka anata, no koto, nandemonaya. Oshitano, I just know good bad. Things will get done amidst their conversation. Fubuki happened to return at that moment, and she was carrying the napa cabbage that Saitama had been so worried about.
However, faced with Fubuki's scolding, Saitama didn't feel the least bit guilty. Instead, he was only thinking about having hot pot for dinner. Just then, Genos suddenly sensed someone approaching at high speed, considering that most of the people present were already injured, and that Fubuki is no match for anything demon level or above. Plus the fact that Sensei was devastated by the loss of his wallet, Genos concluded that King was the only one left capable of fighting.
Unexpectedly, they just let the visitor right in the...
However, this person wasn't an enemy, but rather the doctor who modified Genos. He had received a distress signal a short while ago, and decided to come and check on the situation in person. Upon learning that the bald man before him was Genos' master, Doctor wanted to have a word with Saitama, but Saitama was annoyed by the crowd in his room, and told everyone to leave and head home. That is until the doctor presented a luxury beef gift set, and suddenly he was in no hurry to kick them out. Fubuki didn't expect Saitama to be so easy to win over, but since they're having beef, how could they go without some red wine?
Meanwhile, on the other side, Bayman paid a visit to the doctor from the House of Evolution.
The doctor never would have guessed that the only successful subject of the Immortal series he created would end up becoming a hero after destroying the lab and escaping. But Zombieman couldn't believe the House of Evolution was truly gone. In theory, as long as the doctor lived, it could be rebuilt indefinitely. But the real reason was that he had witnessed a power far more terrifying than artificial evolution. He calls this power the limiter. Due to physical differences between species and individuals, there exists an insurmountable ceiling having power that is too immense, can place a heavy burden on the host or even lead to mental breakdown, or cause them to lose control, much like monsters that have lost their humanity. Thus, every living being grows within a range that ensures they retain their sanity. This growth restriction is what's known as the limiter. Takes class heroes like Terrible Tornado, for example. They are born with immense natural talent, essentially having a much higher limiter. External factors such as the intense desire for transformation, scientific modification or monsterization are physical processes of becoming a different species, which effectively resets one to a new limiter. But that bald guy is different, a plain man with no special gifts or talent. He broke through his limiter through sheer effort, though it cost him his hair. He lost the ability to feel the thrill of battle, but in exchange he gained power that defies all logic. Compared to Saitama, his own ambitions seemed as ridiculous and pathetic as a clown's.
Hey, Genos, how much for the takoyaki? We can get some octopus tacos too. Wait, I'm almost out of cash. It's great. It's good to know it's all good.
Meanwhile, the battle on Garou's side is far from over. After that series of exchanges, he has already seen through the movements of the two monsters. He is now fully confident in his victory. However, as fate would have it, the unexpected occurred. Tario was unexpectedly captured by another monster. Just as Garou's attention was momentarily diverted, Royal Ripper and Bug God launched a sudden fierce onslaught. Caught off guard, Garou was slashed and collapsed to the ground. After sensing that his breath had seemingly faded, the two monsters took Tario back to the Monster Association. Gyoro didn't seem to care much about this outcome, and his current focus is on the impending arrival of the S-Class heroes. He ordered the monsters to prepare themselves for the coming conflict. He plans to assign each monster an opponent whose abilities they can naturally counter. Later, Tario was thrown into a cell, where the previously kidnapped boy was also being held. As the son of the Hero Association's executive sponsor, the boy is convinced that the S-Class heroes will come to his rescue. However, the monster guarding them is utterly dismissive. They knew from the start that the S-Class heroes are absurdly powerful, so they gathered monsters of S-Class caliber and beyond, especially the dragon-level executives. Each one possesses a strength that borders on the miraculous, as if they were masterpieces crafted by the gods gods themselves. Therefore, anyone who dares to attempt a rescue will not escape. Even the S-class heroes will meet their end. That's the main summary for the latest chapter of One Punch Man. Now let's cover some additional lore and details. This episode features many characters from the Monster Association such as Rhino Wrestler. His disaster level is roughly between Tiger and Demon. His physique and legs have been trained to be incredibly powerful. Dragon level, Executive Nyan can squeeze his body through gaps as narrow as 3 meter. However, his weakness is a lack of fighting spirit, often fleeing midway through a battle. Dragon level monster Gums may be all mouth, but he can devour almost anything in one bite. Dragon level monster Fura Ugly completely counters the top ranked the class hero Amai Mas. Dragon level monster Black Sperm possesses countless clones and immense regenerative powers. Additionally, this episode features a battle between 2 ninjas. In their normal state, their strength is demon level. After monsterization, their power rises to dragon level. The title of the next episode is Signal Fire of Counterattack, signaling that the Hero Association will officially engage in war with the Monster Association. Garu's strength will also reach new heights in the face of desperation. Let's look forward to how the story unfolds next.